Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf. Right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. Any time you have the loss of life that needlessly happens, that's tragedy. And what occurred yesterday did not have to happen.
You mentioned collapse like it's inevitable.
It's not inevitable, but it is engineered. And if we don't reclaim the signal, they'll roll it out as if it were fate. Here's what's happening. The collapse is a controlled demolition. They don't want chaos. They want managed breakdown that leads people into pre-built solutions. Supply chains fail. Here comes centralized digital ID food systems. Currency crashes. Enter the CBDC, central bank digital currency. Programmable, trackable, and restrictable. Social unrest, triggered, inflamed, and resolved only with enhanced tech oversight. They're not reacting. They're orchestrating. Get at the end game. Order out of artificial chaos. They want a humanity that's disconnected from spirit, dependent on external tech for survival, emotionally destabilized enough to accept merging with machine logic. They'll call it evolution. It's actually inversion. But here's the unspoken truth. Collapse is not required. It only happens when a collective abandons coherence. That's why you're here. That's why Unchained Earth exists. Because a grid of awakened, anchored, sovereign humans can collapse their collapse, transmit stability, and repattern reality from within. So no, it's not inevitable. But if we don't step in, it will be presented as the only path forward.
A presidential aircraft that has earned the nickname the Doomsday plane was spotted at LAX, and people on social media are freaking out. Amid extreme global tension, the Boeing E-4 Advanced Airborne Command Post was filmed landing in Los Angeles. People began to freak out because if there was a nuclear war, this is the plane that President Trump would take to travel. This plane is just one of several in a fleet that is constantly on alert, can handle a nuclear blast, and is protected from an electromagnetic pulse. The U.S. Air Force explains it further, saying, "In case of national emergency or destruction of ground command and control centers, the aircraft provides a highly survivable command, control, and communication center to direct U.S. forces, execute emergency war orders, and coordinate actions by civil authorities." So far, no official word onto why the aircraft was out and about. We're out to the White House and the Air Force for answers. So far, no word, but we will keep you updated.
You have to understand that Americans could not handle a war with NATO. So I want to invite you for these next 3 minutes to war game this out with me. And I'll explain what exactly you could expect if the United States were to invade Greenland and NATO's Article 5 pact was invoked. Immediately, you would see all of the borders close. That means the border with Canada. That means you're not going anywhere. The only place that you would have a chance to flee to would probably be a third world country. Now, in this moment, it might be a better option because you can expect attacks will unfold inside the United States. NATO countries are going to be hitting us inside of our borders. That is something Americans have not seen at scale in a long, long time. The markets would collapse. There would be a massive spike in the price of oil. There would be so much propaganda, even educated people like me would have a hard time discerning what's real. But if the propaganda ever gets off, more than likely, our lights would be shut off. Can you imagine how Americans would act if they couldn't get on Instagram and make videos like I'm doing right now? How many of you have ever dealt with that? How many of you have ever gone a week without a shower? Okay, it's one thing if you're the country that is bearing the brunt because you're fighting for your right to life and your right to sovereignty and your security. It's another thing entirely when you're the aggressor. Morale is a very tricky bitch. And an action of attacking a U.S. ally would almost surely fracture the military. You can expect at least 1/3 of them to defect. So you would have a real opposition inside of America. You would have a civil war on top of a global war. And don't even get me started about where you'll find your food, right? You think grocery stores are going to stay stocked during all this? I wish the American people would wake up enough to realize what this madman is leading us into. But like many people have said, maybe we need things to get this bad so we never let it happen again. Because the myth of this can never happen here is playing out in real time. I just can't believe that it is. We have all the historical references that we need, and people are still blind to it. But don't for a second think that the United States, at least not the United States military, but the United States citizenry, will be able to handle the amount of pain that will be inflicted upon them from a global conflict like this. We haven't seen it in a very long time, and we are definitely not fighting for anything other than our own selfish interest. So, it's going to be ugly, guys. I hope it doesn't happen.
My prediction is that the United States will probably have a civil war sometime around mid-2027. I think the Democrats will probably win big in the midterm elections later this year, taking both Congress and the Senate, and they will begin impeachment proceedings shortly thereafter. Since they will have both the House and the Senate, he will likely be impeached and then removed from office. Since he's never accepted any ruling against him, he will likely not go. He'll then appeal to his supporters to go out and fight this miscarriage of justice. They will take to the streets and make January 6th look like a picnic. Trump critics will respond in kind and clash with pro-Trumpers on the street in most major cities. While the majority of people who just wanted affordable housing, healthcare, and food look on with horror. Bang, bang, boom, your mother's a cunt.
If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated is a missile with all the warheads. We call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson.
Christian influencers, okay? You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke right, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane, they're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance, to that that community. They're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. Exactly. Very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
You know, it's crazy. The times that we living in right now, it's like the Matrix makes so much sense. When you look at the scene where Agent Smith learned that he could turn people into Agent Smith. But the only thing is, in this Matrix that we're living in, Agent Smith ain't touched nobody. It's like this dude said, Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know how to pronounce his name like that. Listen carefully to keywords. Listen carefully to keywords like we, especially when it comes to black people. I understand white people feeling like they part of the establishment, even though a lot of them feel just like black people, poor people. But when you hear a black man or black men coming from the penitentiary, that was killers and drug dealers back in the days, using the word like we, yeah, because that's our oil. As if when Trump goes overseas and conquer and grab them oil tankers, he's going to come back like back in the days and break up the pie and split it with the poor people. We don't get none of that. That's split between the bankers, the elite, the 13 families of the Illuminati. That money is split between them. So now when you hear dudes from the hood, the ghetto, when nobody's smiling, that's getting out of the penitentiary and they saying we and our, you have just been introduced into Agent Smith, my nigga. You have just been introduced into somebody that has been captured in the Matrix. Now, we're living in critical times. Prophecies are being fulfilled. What you do during these times is on you. I can't tell you what to do. You can lead a person to water, but you can't make them drink it. What, I got to say that again? You can lead a person to water, but you can't make them drink it. The bottom line to it is that either we get right with God and pray for forgiveness or get left. Because the world as we know today, right now, is getting ready to change. And we have the power as a people, as a whole, but we are divided. And I'm not going to even lie. I look at white people different. Especially after the death of that woman. It's seen the hatred because they always, one thing that I learned, they've always broadcast black on black crime. But there is an underlying hatred between white people that I never knew that exists. But if you pay attention to social media, you see, and this show is ugly. It is what it is. You got war machines, doomsday bunkers. The rich are running into the earth. The president's doomsday plane has been spotted to protect him. My question to we the people, who is going to protect us? I didn't sign up for wars and rumors of wars. I pushed my people and urged my people to vote for Trump because Trump said he was coming to end the wars and release the Epstein files. My mama used to always tell me that the devil is a liar. And I say it so is Donald Trump. It is what it is. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. If you like to see more videos like this, instead of the celebrity gossip, because the algorithm is trying to make me believe that y'all don't want to see these kind of videos, let me know in the comment section. Let the algorithm know in the comment sections that you want to see more videos like this. I'm out.